Today's our second day here, and our very first stop is the Yidi viewpoint, which is absolutely stunning. So we saw the Yidi viewpoint. It is really beautiful. It's actually a spot that I wanted to go see at sunset. I heard it's really, really amazing, all lit up with the sun going down. But unfortunately, we just didn't have time to make it there for sunset. We're still pretty jet lagged. We had a really, really good time in Dubai. If you want to check out that video, it's up here. But it was a super packed week. We were busy and out pretty much from like 8 o'clock in the morning until like 8 or 9 o'clock at night every single day. Plus we stayed up for the fireworks show with the kids, and the next day we had to get to the airport. So in this next 2 weeks, there's gonna be some days we take some down days. We do some other stuff that we're not gonna be filming, but we will cover most of the main things here. So next stop of today on day 2 is the Bimmah Sinkhole. It's about an hour and a half from the capital city of Muscat. So let's get driving. We're just pulling up here now on the Bimmah Sinkhole. It is a 50 by 70 meter sinkhole that's 20 meters deep and filled with the most beautiful blue water.
Bimmah Sinkhole is one of Oman's most unique natural wonders. It's a huge limestone crater filled with stunning turquoise water that was formed by the collapse of an underground cavern. There's a staircase leading down to the water, and you can even take a swim if you're feeling adventurous, which we saw a lot of people doing. It's such a peaceful spot, and the color of the water is unbelievable. Entry to the sinkhole is free, there are benches everywhere, we saw so many people having a picnic, and there's even a little playground up top for the kids to run around.
So that was a really cool place. The kids had a good time. Me and Isla went to the sinkhole first, while Ethan and Ryan went to the playground because Ethan was just not having it. He saw the playground, he just wanted to play. He did not care about the sinkhole. So we went in turns to go see it. There were a lot of people swimming, so you are allowed to swim there. And I did not feel the water, but Isla felt it and she said it was pretty warm. So I'm gonna take her word for it. So it was definitely a really nice place to hang out. Really beautiful scenery around. And it's, yeah, no jumping. You're right. There was a sign that said no jumping. There's a lot of rocks, so definitely be careful. And the stairs are pretty steep, but it's free. It's easy to get to from Muscat, about an hour and a half, and the drive is absolutely beautiful. You can see the ocean, the beautiful blue water. There are a lot of people camping actually on the beach because Oman is actually a country where wild camping is completely legal, so you can camp wherever you want. You can camp on the beach, you can camp in the mountains, you could camp in the desert on the side of the road, I guess. So really cool, really interesting. We actually thought about doing a camping trip. They have cars you can rent with rooftop tents and stuff, but I think the kids are just a little too young for that. But when they're older, we would definitely love to come back and try that. So the next stop of the day is Wadi Shab, which I guess Wadi just means like river or riverbed, and they're all over the country. So we're going to Wadi Shab, which is a popular one. I read that you can park there, take a short little boat to the other side, and then do like a beautiful hike along the water, along the canyon, and that there are 2 pools. I believe the first one is easier to get to, the second one you have to wade through the water, which I don't think we're gonna do with the kids, but we'll see. Darn. And Ethan is already sleeping, so I'm hoping that we can just throw him up on Ryan's back and he'll stay asleep, and it will be a nice easy hike, and then we can head to our hotel in Soar. Beautiful. Oh my goodness, it's so blue. I love it. It's so blue. I know, me too, baby. I would love to swim in it. Maybe tomorrow we'll go swimming. All right, we're trying to get to the parking. I don't think the pin was correct on the Google Maps. Goats, just goats, yeah. Hello. The goat. Another goat. Another goat. Goat crossing. Oh, hello, goats. Oh, there's so many goats. I don't think the pin was right on Google Maps, but we did see a huge crowd of people in cars and tour buses, and what looked like no parking. So we're gonna turn around. We did a U-turn. We're gonna head back that way, and we're gonna see if we can find a spot to park and figure out where we're supposed to go. But it does look super busy. It is the afternoon. It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Ideally, we would like to do these kinds of things early in the morning, but that's just not how the day went today. So see if we can find somewhere to park and figure out where we go from here. We found one lonely spot in the parking lot, and it has the most amazing view. The water is like Gatorade blue, if that's like
the light blue.
It's so beautiful. It makes me want to go swimming, and I think tomorrow we might just have a beach day. Because the water is just so beautiful here. Look at all these cars. I think that's where we're going, right over there. But tour buses, cars, taxis.
I'm coming in.
You ready?
Yeah.
You wanna go see Wadi Shab?
We're gonna go and hike.
Yep, let's go.
Although it's free to visit Wadi Shab, to actually start the hike, you'll have to take a short boat ride across the river to the starting point. The locals run the boats, they're very nice, and it's 1 Omani Rial per person, cash only for a round trip. Note that these boats don't run 24 hours, so you'll have to check with them what time the last boat is going so that you can get back to your car after your hike. Once you land on the far side of the river, the real adventure can begin. You'll trace a rocky trail through canyons and pools, but hidden behind that beauty is a deeper story. Wadi Shab is not just a scenic wadi, it's also an important archaeological site. After excavations by archaeologists, they found a cemetery, stone structures, and hearths, which is evidence that people didn't just pass through this canyon, but they used to live here in a semi-permanent way. So when you're hiking through the canyon, seeing the beautiful blue water, maybe taking a swim in some of the pools, you're actually walking through a place that humans called home thousands of years ago. Pretty cool if you ask me. Now if you're traveling with little kids like we are, here are a few tips that really helped us, and honestly a few things we learned the hard way. First and most important, keep your kids close. Wadi Shab is incredibly beautiful, but it is a canyon, and that means rocky paths, uneven footing, some drop-offs, and a few sections with a bit of height. Things can be unpredictable, so staying aware and keeping little ones nearby is key. Next, bring a bathing suit. There are larger pools further in where you can swim, and most people take a dip to cool off. If you pack a picnic lunch, even better, you could easily spend half a day here exploring, walking through the canyon, and relaxing by the water. You'll also notice signs everywhere reminding tourists to respect local dress customs. That means women should not wear bikinis and men shouldn't be shirtless. Now we did see plenty of people doing both, and it didn't seem to be enforced, but it's always best to lead with respect for the culture and the place you're visiting.
Goats are eating trash. What? He's looking at you, Isla.
Oh, that one does not have.
They're eating the trash. Poor goats. Should we stop them eating the trash? I don't know.
No.